Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, March the 30th, 2023. Thursday, March the 30th. Well, I'm sure you can tell by my voice. Still got it, y'all. Ugh. Anyway, but that still doesn't stop me from watching my soaps, right? When I'm not feeling well, curled up in my recliner, my little blankie up to here, and I watch my soap operas. They're comfort. I don't want to say comfort food, but they're comfort TV, right? That's how I feel about it. Care how I feel, I'm watching. So that's why I'm trying to get through the recap here. Listen, let's talk about excuse me, y'all. Let's talk a little bit about Lily and Devon and Amanda. Devon convinces Amanda to come on in and have a drink with him. And he orders her favorite drink, and she's snipey a bit, but he says, Amanda, I really, really want to apologize to you. My intentions were never to hurt you. My actions were, deplorable. He goes, and you did get hurt, and I truly, truly apologize for that. She's like, well, I'm, not here for you to just apologize again and again. And he goes, no, but I need to. I need to, because that's important. So she kind of actually softened up a bit, like, okay, then I can't lash out at you because you're not giving me a whole bunch of excuses. You're just simply apologizing for your bad actions. Okay. So they ended up talking a bit about work, and he goes, I decided to drop the lawsuit. And Amanda's like, oh, really? And he goes, yeah, Lily and I, we've made up, and it's not good for our relationship. So I'm going to drop it. And Amanda's like, huh. So that means pretty much I can't whoop your little behind yeah, I can't whoop your behind in the boardroom or in the arbitration room. Doggone it. But she already knew they had been let go when Jill walked in the room. So she knew it was over. She just didn't know the terms of it. So Lily walks over and she goes, okay, so you two are talking. And Devon's like, yeah. And Amanda's like, Devon tells me he's dropping the lawsuit. And Lily said, yes, we are working on our differences and, to mend our relationship. And so Amanda's just listening pretty much. And then all of a sudden, now mind you, what's happening in the other room is Phyllis is making a spectacle of herself. The whole clapping thing stops, because Michael really gets the clapping going, and Phyllis is like, you're still in my thunder, Michael. Stop it. So she starts her rant about Diane, and you've taken everything from me. And this, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you're a nightmare, chick. And then she points to Lily, not Lily, Nikki, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, mind you, Ashley has already left. Once Jack made his announcement, Ashley booked out of there with Tucker. So Phyllis is going on, and Summer's like, Mom, don't do this. So she goes, no, I have one more thing to say. One more thing to say. And then she's saying some more, spewing some more nothingness, right? And then Daniel comes up to her and says, Mom, that's enough. And even Danny, too. And she's like, no, I'll leave after I say this one more thing. And I'm thinking, well, one more thing? That was 4 one more things ago, Phyllis. And I thought, okay, she's stalling for some reason. And then she starts to feel a little bit lightheaded and, getting a little drowsy. And Daniel rushes and he grabs her as she's about to fall. And I thought, oh, that's what she was waiting for. Whatever drug she took, she and Stark cooked up for her to take, it hadn't kicked in yet. And she had to keep stalling until it kicked in. So it finally kicks in. Daniel lays her on the ground and says, can somebody give me something for her head? So somebody gives him a jacket and he lays her head on it. And Summer's like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? And Daniel's like, I don't know, but she's not moving. She's not responding. And so somebody says, is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor in the house? Call 911, right? And Jack and Diane are just looking. Because first Diana's like, she's faking. Phyllis. She's faking. And Jack is looking at her because Phyllis made sure the whole room heard that Diane had attacked her up in the room, right? And so Victoria goes running out, and Victoria goes running into where the bar area is, where Nate and Elena are, which is, we still got Lily, Amanda, and Devon at the bar. She goes, Nate, we need a doctor, Nate. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, there's only one practicing doctor sitting in that area, and that's Elena. She completely acts like Elena is not there because Elena says, what's wrong? Come on, Nate. It's like, oh, we're just gonna dismiss Elena, right? Even though Nate still has his license. His license hasn't lapsed, but he's just not practicing, right? Elena is a practicing doctor. So they both go running in, and Elena is doing the first on assessments, and Nate is there also taking vitals and weighing in on the whole thing. And Elena's like, her vitals are fading. They're very faint, and Nate's like, yeah, I can hardly get a pulse. And everybody's like, oh. And then Diana's looking like, oh, shoot, I guess she ain't faking, right? And Jack is like, huh? Like, Red, huh? Right? And so Summer and Daniel are like, oh, what's my mother, oh no. So the paramedics finally get there and they put her on the stretcher. And now, mind you, Stark comes down. Phyllis, what's happened? What's happened to Phyllis? Phyllis? And they're like, what are you doing here? You're not even invited to this event. What are you doing here? And he goes, what's happened to Phyllis? What have you all done to her? And I'm thinking, what horrible acting. What a horrible plan, y'all. So he goes running over to her, Phyllis, my love. And I'm thinking, my love? Where did my love come from? And everybody's like, my love, right? And so Summer's telling Daniel, what is he doing next to Mom? What is going on? And so Kyle, see, I don't know why they make Kyle speak. Kyle, you don't give a rat's behind about Phyllis. What are you up to, Stark? Get away from Phyllis. And I'm thinking, no, you let Phyllis's son and her daughter deal with it, Kyle, right? Because you walked in on your mother choking her and threatening her, and you guys have quickly brushed that as water under the bridge, Kyle. So anyway, Stark's like, I'm not going nowhere at all. Phyllis, my love, you're gonna be okay. And the EMTs, are like looking, and then you could see in Phyllis's hand, it's partly open, and you can see Diane's engagement ring. And Diane and Jack are like, Diane's like, look, Jack, that's my ring. How did Phyllis get it? And so Jack then remembers when Stark bumped into him. He goes, that had to have been Stark that bumped into me. He picked my pocket and took the ring. And they're like, well, what's their plan, right? And I'm thinking, what's their plan? Exactly. So Diane slips up and takes the ring up out of Phyllis's hand and steps back. And the EMT guy, he looks at her do it, and then he looks at her, and I thought, huh, that's going to be important later. That's interesting. Because they made a point to show him looking at Diane do it with like wonderment in his face, like, why is she taking something from the patient's hand, right? So anyway, Stark is like, I'll be right with you, Phyllis, and he kisses her on her forehead. I'm coming too. And they're like, sir, you can't ride with us. No one can ride in the ambulance with us. And he goes, I'll be right there, Phyllis, as they take her out. So they take her out, and Daniel says, I'm going to follow. And then Summer says, I'll follow too. And so Kyle says, why don't you ride with your brother? You know, she goes, okay, because I probably shouldn't be driving. Okay. And Daniel says, come on, ride with me, Summer. And Kyle says, I will make sure everything's okay. I'll make sure Harrison's okay. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't Harrison be okay? He's got the nanny. Harrison's fine. You guys plan on being out for hours more, so you don't have to make sure Harrison's okay. He's fine. He's asleep. They found his little Snuckums toy, so he's okay, right? We won't hear from Harrison till morning. So anyway, Summer and Daniel leave, and you know everybody's like in amazement. And now Stark is getting ready to get on his soapbox next. But anyway, I was just left wondering, what kind of plan is this? And how is this truly supposed to work? I don't get it, y'all. To me, this is a half-baked, half-cocked plan, and I honestly don't get it. So then we have Sally. Sally and Nick pretty much leave right after Jack's announcement. Nick's like, no, when Phyllis starts her rant, Nick is like, okay, peace out. I'm out of here. I ain't staying for this train wreck. So he and Sally leave. And Adam sees them leave. You know, so Sharon's like, you want to go check on Sally, don't you? And he goes, do you mind? She goes, no, go. Go ahead and check on him. Check on them. So he leaves. And then it shows Nick and Sally walking into the coffee house with a burger bag, right? And as they sit down, I'm thinking, wait a minute. The coffee house, Crimson Lights, doesn't serve burgers. So you're going to go to a burger joint, order burgers, and then take them to a place that doesn't serve burgers. So you're just going to use up Sharon's tables and everything else, pretty much her customers that might come in thinking they want to get a cup of coffee or a donut or croissant. They're going to walk in and say, ooh, burger and fries. Man, that'll go right. That'll go down well about now. They'll turn around and walk right out the door and go get them some burgers and fries, right? Which are usually why, customarily, you don't take food from another joint into another joint. You just don't. Unless you're ordering something from this establishment. I didn't see him order anything. I just saw him get ready to break open the burger and fries. So they noticed Adam in the patio area looking. And Nick notices him first. And then Sally sees Nick looking at something, and she turns, and it's Adam. And Sally's like, well, instead of lurking in the patio, Adam, you might as well come over here. So he comes over. And she goes, what are you doing? Are you stalking us? And he goes, no. He said, I saw you at the event, and I saw you touching your stomach, and then you guys were leaving. I wanted to make sure you were okay. So Sally's like, well, you obviously followed us. So when you followed us, you saw we got into the drive-through line, the drive-through of the burger joint. She goes, that didn't tell you everything was fine? And then she goes, and then you see us sitting here with our burger bag. That didn't tell you everything was fine? And he goes, well, now that you say it out loud, you know what? It does seem like I'm stopping. He goes, I'm sorry. He goes, I was just being an over concerned father to be. He loves saying that because Nick can't say he's father to be, right? Over concerned father to be. And I just wanted to make sure you were okay. And I'm thinking, that's what a text message is for, Adam. That's what a text message is for. So he says, I'll get out of your hair. And he turns to walk away. And Sally turns and she goes, Adam, you want to join us? And Nick looks at her and says, wait, what? Like, no, what? And she goes, come and join us. And he goes, well, okay, right? She goes, we have to find a way to coexist with one another. We have to find a way for you not to learn, overreact on every little thing, so come join us. So Adam's getting ready to sit down. And then Nick gets a call from Summer about Phyllis being rushed to the hospital. So Nick says, I'm on my way. So he goes, I'm sorry, something's happened to Phyllis. Summer's called, I gotta go. And so she says, no, go. And so Adam sits down and she goes, well, I'm not gonna let this burger go to waste, right? And so Adam's sitting there and she goes, and you're not gonna get any of my fries either. And so he smiles and she smiles. See, they were getting ready to really, because she is actually, if you notice, happier with interactions with Adam. She smiles, he smiles. I mean, she genuinely looks happy. Whereas everything with Nick is, how am I going to handle this? Oh, I didn't plan on this. Oh, my toe hurts. Oh, this dress is a little tight. Do you think everybody knew? Oh, but with Adam, is just, happy-go-lucky, and they could just have fun. So anyway, that was pretty much it for The Young and the Restless. Let's go to Comment Corner. We have 2 comments. In the comments, Annette says, I miss the old Phyllis when she was with Billy before Summer came back to town. Yeah, that's when there was a different actress playing Phyllis. That's when Phyllis was actually on General Hospital playing Nina Reeves. And I thought it was such an unlikely pair, but that actress and Billy did work together. It worked, right? But if you notice, Michelle Stafford playing Phyllis and the actor playing Billy now, they don't work together at all. There's no chemistry, none. That they could never do a Phyllis Billy pairing again with these 2 actors. And then Anita says, daily recap lady, feel better. Goodness, I'm trying, Phyllis. Anita, I'm trying. The writers are making Phyllis crazy nutso, and the Diana Jack saga is sickening. Jeremy's scheme is ridiculous. Jeremy's scheme is beyond ridiculous. I don't honestly know how this plan, whatever the plan is supposed to work. So we shall see what happens tomorrow on the next episode of The Young and the Restless.